But it's exciting how, you know, in the early congregation class, we do the same thing. We start from the 2nd century BC, and we go why there had to be an early congregation, and then we go into the time of Yeshua and how it started in the congregation of wilderness. And the last class ends in the classroom. You know, because we're the last remnant of that early congregation that is here for that last step, you know, passing the baton. So it's the same thing. What's kind of neat here that, you know, you end the tour, and here we are. It's ended of the restoration work that Yahweh is doing today. So they need one more room there. They need one more room with us and the restoration work. That'll be complete. So praise Yahweh for that. Just a couple of announcements before we start. Dinner 5:30 as normal. Please 6:35. Let's be in the foyer down there, and we'll leave because we'll be going back tonight right where we were. Those black seats where we were sitting, we're going to go in and we're going to watch a show tonight. That's about an hour long, and it's supposed to be fantastic. And it's all these different cameras and lights, and they actually show you the history of Jerusalem on the lights on the wall. So what I was told is the only thing is there's no narrative, it's only music. So now you know the narrative. You know, they said if you didn't go to the museum first, it's very difficult. But if you know the museum, now you'll get to see all the time periods and how they changed and everything else. So we'll be doing that after dinner, and looking forward to that. We won't be meeting tonight, so just to announce for tomorrow, for Friday, we'll have 6:30 breakfast tomorrow morning, and we're going to have 8 o'clock service. I made it earlier so that I know some people want to go to Yad Vashem and different things, and I'll make sure, there's only one message I'll be giving tomorrow. I'll make sure by 9:15 that we're all done, and then you'll have the day for whatever. For the children in the scavenger hunt, we'll start right away. You know, as soon as service is over, give us 15-20 minutes to set up, and the same thing, so that we can start at 9:30, finish around 10:30, and then again, if people want to go wherever, you have the opportunity. Because remember, we have Shabbat and the holy day, and then we're leaving Monday morning. So I know tomorrow is the last free day to do some things, and the last day things will be open. So I'll try my best as possible to get you out as early as possible so that you can enjoy the day in Jerusalem. But remember that 6:30 breakfast and 8 o'clock we'll have our service tomorrow morning. I think that's all the announcements we have for today. Anything else will go tomorrow. Just I'll also remind tomorrow evening, Friday evening, we'll be doing our worship service. So make sure that any ladies who are dancing, please see Marta and coordinate with that, and Eric.
Yeah, if there's anybody that wants...
How many men would like to dance? Okay, so please, what we'll have to do is we'll have to have a men's practice. Maybe, Eric, maybe we can even get together today after service, and then at least tomorrow, whatever, do a practice. But tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, we'll do worship service. And again, the dancing will be going on the other side, so nobody will be seeing the dancing. It's not for viewing or walking or whatever. It's basically for praise and worship to Yahweh. So the men and the women, all the dancing will go on that side, and we'll have the praise and worship. And this side we'll be singing. We have, you know, Andy has it set up on the other side, so you could hear the music, and that's the way we'll be doing. Alrighty, I think that's all the announcements for today, and we are blessed to have a split sermon today. Please, welcome. I said I didn't see any of the ties. I was wondering if you were raptured. Or just maybe ruptured. So, we have the blessing of hearing a split sermon today from our TED Team Dual Senior Elders from Kenya. First, we'll hear from Elder Mutai.
Alsamea? Alsamea? Right. First and foremost, my names are Elder Mutai from Kenya, and very happy to have this chance to in support to share a message today. And I'd like to, maybe before we start, I give you greetings from Africa. The president from Kenya gave us a lot of greetings that when you reach Yerushalayim, pass our sincere greetings to our brethren from all over the world. That you have those greetings. I hope you will have those greetings, and they are very happy to hear also that whenever we go back to Africa, you will all send us the same greetings. Well, today we have a message. There's a special message today for married couples, or known as sanctity of marriage, covenant, and that Yahweh hates divorce. It is a special message. Marriage is honorable. It was one of the first gifts of Yahweh to man, and it was one of the two institutions that, after the fall of Adam, brought with him beyond the gates of paradise. Marriage was one of the institutions that it was allowed past the Garden of Eden when after the fall of Adam. If you were like most couples, you had no training in preparation for marriage. I know most of us, we got married without any prior training. We never went to any college to graduate to be a husband or a wife. You know, you just fall in love with your spouse, and all of a sudden, in Africa we pay dowries, in Europe and other headquarters, you just go, get married. But you never got any training or rehearsal or anything, or orientation, how you will live with your spouse for life. There may have been scriptural references, but there were no formal training to qualify you as a husband or a wife. However, all of these choices were made, all of these choices we make in our lifetime, the selection of our spouses and decisions we make on how to be husband or wife are the most profound and have most far-reaching implications. The choices we made, our children, our families, is through the choices we normally make. My family, for example, my children, if the way that the children behaves is through the choices we made with my spouse, my wife, that we have agreed to get married. But no formal training was done. Our children will come from that decision, and the process continues from generation to generation. In fact, we exist today because of decisions made by our parents. Our parents have heard of, most subtle influence on us with regards to marriage. Our parents were our primary examples. Like any training, the quality has a direct impact on the success of or failure of the endeavor. Eventually, our kids are going to leave us. They will create their homes, their own lives, leaving us alone with our spouses. And this can be a wonderful opportunity in our lives, or Yahweh forbids a disaster. It depends on the preparation, the prep work we did in advance. Did we ignore our spouses to tend our children, or did we recognize that our relationship with our marital partner is the most important relationship we have? You know, in most cases, by the time the children comes after union, when people get married, the spouse or the wife tend to to look after the children, and he forgets to know exactly that my husband is the life partner. The children will come a time when they leave, they will depart and form their own life. So it depends on how we make, how we do it. It is like the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt. They were promised to come to the Holy Land. A cloud of smoke and a pillar of fire protected Israel as they begin their journey towards the promised land. The people were out of Egypt and on their way to a place flowing with milk and honey. The children of Israel were on the path to claim their inheritance that was promised to the father Abraham. They left Egypt for the land of Canaan, but because of their sins and disbelief, the Hebrews found themselves in a place unfamiliar and undesired. The nation was destined to wander in the wilderness for 40 years. It is like us. If we fail to recognize the marriage covenant and honor the marriage covenant, it will be a disaster at the old age. That is why we have broken marriages. People are not happy in the last days, at old age. So it is actually very important for each and every person who is, each and every body who is actually married, especially our believers in the congregation of Yahweh. Marriage is honorable. Marriage covenant should be handled with care. There are some challenges affecting married couples. One, and the messianic culture. Two, materialism. Three, negative media influence. Four, financial pressures. Five, lack of communication. Six, lack of discipline or indiscipline. Unfaithfulness is actually challenges facing our married couples or our believers today in our congregation or all over the world. So, brethren, we should embrace the Torah in our marriage. We should obey the Torah in our marriage so that we get the blessings and we prosper the way Yahweh intended from the beginning. Let us read from the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 18. And Yahweh Elohim said, it was not good the man being alone. I will make a helper suited to him. You know, Yahweh Elohim started the marriage. Says not. It is clearly proven that men live longer and healthier as a result of marriage. The research have been done to show that anybody who is married live longer than somebody who is actually single. Anybody who is married will live longer. Even if you ask who wants to live for longer days on the earth, they well, me. But if you are not married, I don't see whether you can live longer. But research has been done. Anybody who is married lives longer. To have the same companion from youth to old age is a true marriage, is a true friendship and love, and that is judicial order. That is in line with judicial order. To have the same companion from youth, which means there is no breakdown, there is no divorce. To have a true companion from youth to old age is very important, and that is what we embrace in the congregation of Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. A help is much more than a helper. There's a difference here. A help is much more than a helper. A helper. Help means companion, Its counterpart, it means she is there until the job is finished. Your spouse, if you are a husband, your wife should be there until the job is finished. There is no day your wife can say, well, because you are now getting poor, or your health is deteriorating, so I'll leave you. No way. No way. You find in some other areas in Africa, I don't know your place, but in Africa, especially in Tanzania, when you become broke, you know, broke is a matter of wallet, and your wallet is dry, the wife leaves you and gets another somebody who is wet, who is rich, who is wealthy. But I don't know in the West. In the West, maybe people say, well, you seem, we are, because of that negative media influence. When we talk of negative media influence, people are actually socializing in the media, being friends with people in the Facebooks, seeing pornography things, and all those kind of like. We don't encourage our members even to be socializing so much in the social media, because that one can also bring breakages in marriage. Because if you have a friend in a Facebook who is actually sometimes he likes pornography, he can even post some other things on your timeline, and that it can also bring some misunderstanding in the family. So it is not actually good. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 20, the Torah teaches that there was a search to find a helpmate for Adam amongst all the creatures that Yahweh had created, and there was none found. You know, after creation, Yahweh saw it was not good for a man to stay alone. So he tried to look among the creation, the creatures he created, but he could not find anybody. Until something, he had to think of a way of trying to get a helper for Adam. Why did Creator have Adam search to find? Why did Creator have Adam search to find a wife? Why does the book of Proverbs here communicate that it is difficult to find a virtuous woman? Adam was being prepared for an appropriate mate, a wife. You know, Yahweh had to prepare Adam. By searching all along, finding out there was no helpmate who has got the image and the likeness. Yahweh was looking for the image and the likeness, and he could not find from the other creatures. So it teaches that if Eve had been over to as a wife without sufficient introduction, Adam may have considered her as incumbrance, or a burden, or a rival. So Yahweh had to introduce this woman, Adam, by actually trying to do some, searching and also psychologically preparing Adam that we are looking for someone who can help you for life. So there is no rehearsal in marriage, our brethren. We should take marriage seriously. There should be no divorce. Unlike in other communities, other areas in the world, there are a lot of divorce. No, there should be no divorce. Because a marriage covenant is a lifetime. Every benefit is always appreciated more fully if it arrives after its needs is felt. So it came a time when Adam was actually satisfied. There was nobody who can help him. So Adam was to be created through the rib, you know, the chemistry that was done. You know, man was created from the earth, using the dust. But the lady, from the rib. So that's why ladies are always beautiful. We know we are handsome ourselves, but you are beautiful. And also smooth and good. Tender. So, because Yahweh told a lady should be a helper and a companion and a completer. You know, a man is not incomplete. It is like in chemistry that, when you complete a reaction, it's a catalyst. He catalyzes things so that the reaction gets complete. In Proverbs, Proverbs 18, verse 22, reads, whoever finds a wife finds a good thing and gets favor from Yahweh. So, all those who are married, you get favor from Yahweh. Anybody who is married. That is why you could be having several children, but each and every child, Yahweh has got a budget for that child. There's no day your children, even if you have 20 children, they will not go hungry. They can get funds for education, and also because Yahweh is the one actually trying to explain or showing men that regardless of what West are doing about economic constraints and what, you have got to start family planning. Those family plans, we should have natural family plan, but not artificial family plan. Yahweh knows exactly why we were born. Why you were born, why I was born. Marriage is a covenant between man and a woman, initiated by exchange of vows. It is a serious covenant. Genesis chapter 2, verse 24 reads, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they shall become one, a God, unified flesh. They become one. So, marriage is a covenant, not a partnership. Marriage is a covenant, not a partnership. Or a contract. Perhaps, and contracts and agreements of, perhaps contracts and partnerships are agreements of consideration given for consideration received. A covenant is not made primarily to gain value, or nor to exchange one thing for another. It is not maintained by both parties meeting their obligation. It is giving oneself regardless of the return value. You just give yourself totally. You serve your spouse. It is a total commitment. It is something for life. It is one of the institutions that was allowed from the Garden of Eden, that each and every human being should respect. Marriage covenant. Be it in religious circles or secular circles, people should respect marriage. A covenant is forever until one no longer be done, until they do us apart. This covenant establishes a home. A marriage covenant establishes a reference in relation greater than parent and child. So, you don't marry to get children, even if you don't get children. Even if you don't get children, marriage covenant should stand forever, because that is a covenant. We are the covenant people, brethren. The reason why we are here, we have joined the covenant. In faith, in marriage, anything we do is just we do before Yahweh, just a covenant. So there's no day you say, I don't like this, you don't. No. We do it because it is a covenant. That is why a divorce is more than breaking a contract. A divorce rips the very fabric of the soul when the marriage covenant is broken. When we read in the book of Malachi chapter 2, verse 14 to 16, it reads, yet you say, on what cause? Because Yahweh has been witness between you and your wife of your youth, against whom you have dealt with treacherously, and she is your companion and your covenant wife. 16. Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, says he hates divorce, and to gather with violence on his coming, says Yahweh of hosts, then guard your spirit and do not act trageously. Yahweh hates divorce. Yahweh don't like people to separate. To divorce and have a divorce certificate, or you go to court or do anything. No. A broken vow and all that is breached or a pledge not fulfilled is an internal dilemma reaching deep into the person that is no soothing balm can reach. A broken contract can be solved by paying for the damages, but the damage of a broken covenant continues long after. So it is very serious. If maybe you are taking marriage covenant to be something like from now on, let us embrace and know exactly that marriage covenant is for lifetime, until death. Some men and women never leave their father and mother when they get married. Consequently, they have not chosen their spouse above all others. You know, there is unbecoming behavior when a man and wife chooses to marry. Then you see the lady or the wife have attachment with their family, and also the man maybe could have an attachment with their respective family without actually knowing that you should leave. When you make a covenant, you leave your parents and you start a new life. So, but we have seen also some parents who are recalling their children, their children who have given out for marriage. If we as parents, if we have given out our children, let us not have any attachment. Let them set them free to start their own life. So there is a lot of interference. That is why there is no peace among those newly married couples. And always it results in pregnant marriages. And that shows they never made proper marriage covenant, and from the beginning, and the results become inevitable. So if we don't look after that, at the end of the day, we have the newly married couple divorcing, and we have a lot of chaos in the congregation or in the world. Instead of us setting examples, as the people who have actually been in the land, we have known the Torah, we have known what is happening, we have known the truth. So we should not continue actually to be darkness. We don't mix Babylon. We should have Hebraic mindset, and we remove the Greco-Roman mindset that there is always a window for you to do some other things which are not actually within the covenant. But with marriage covenant, that is a very serious commitment. Marriage covenant is a very, very serious commitment in life if you also want to inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. From the beginning, if it was allowed Adam after the fall to move out of the Garden of Eden, which means even Yahweh recognizes that. So we don't have, there is no playing games when it comes to marriage or divorce. There is no playing games. And there is no way, rules, Torah cannot be penned to suit some individuals. There is no selective justice when it comes to marriage covenant. You either do it or you don't, if you want to be in the kingdom. You either observe it, do it diligently, guard your marriage, or you wait to maybe to go to lake of fire. Because that is, or if you want to be in the kingdom, then you have got to many ways. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. It says, he said to the woman, I will greatly increase your sorrow and your conception. You shall bear sons in sorrow, and your desire shall be toward your husband, and he shall rule you over you. This verse is probably hated by women than any other part in the Bible, and such has been done. The spirit of rebellion will not sit idly by in the heart of a woman when she hears the words, "He shall rule over you." When a woman hears that her husband is to rule over you, say, "No, I cannot be ruled. I cannot be ruled. I cannot be under any man. I cannot be ruled." But this judicial order, Yahweh says, you must be under your husband. To a woman, their words confront her unbelief and mistrust in her husband. Is evidence of not loving her husband. Love believes all things. So when you have love, you believe all things. True mature leaders know that the authority to rule comes after full responsibility has been accepted. True authority is given by those who are under the rule. Demanding authority over another or exercising that authority to prove the existence is a leader on the path to failure. Knowledge and competence are replacing rank as the voice of authority. It simply means that women have respect for husbands who are knowledgeable and competent than just being in authority. Also, husbands also should take a lead. Women, they are happy when the husband is taking lead, taking care in the family. There are husbands also who are not, they don't take their roles. So we shall come forward and take our roles, and our wives will actually appreciate us. Our wife's desire for her husband will naturally result in her giving him authority over her because she believes he has taken full responsibility for her. Husband agreed to be led if the husband takes responsibility. There are husbands who are not responsible. So for husbands also, you must be responsible for your wife to give in, to allow you to lead her. You must be sensible and responsible too. In that, the marriage should progress with the husband initiating and the wife completing. The wife is to look to her husband and help him bring about solutions. The husband should listen to the advice of his wife and take into consideration in this decision. Whatever your wife advises you incorporate in your decisions in the family. And for sure, because there are some women who have got more IQ than men. So the research has been done shows that a woman always have got IQ about 70%, and the men have about 50. So when they combine, they become 120, and you get children who goes to university. So if your wife, but the IQ for women always fluctuates, but for men almost steady. We always give full dose. But for women, you can have a woman who is 40% IQ and all this. So when you combine, then that is a disaster. So it means for you to lead, you must also be competent. Husband is commanded. The husband is commanded by Yahweh to love his wife. We are commanded. We are not requested. We are commanded to love your wife. So I've seen in the West, like you now, I'm very happy when I see married couples, especially old couples, working together side by side. It is an uncommon thing in Africa. In our place, if you find like me now, you don't expect me working with my wife the way you people are doing here. It is actually love. You show love by action, not love. Love cannot be made. You cannot tell your wife, "I love you," but you must show by action. Action speaks louder than words. So it is actually good for you. It is good. I've seen in the West and here in the Holy Land, people love one another. That's good. Irrespective of what, and you don't care what people say, but you love your spouse. That's good. So in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25 to 27, husband, love your wives, even as Messiah also loved the congregation and gave himself up to its behalf, that he might sanctify it, cleansing it by washing of water and by the word, that he might present it to himself as the glorious congregation, not having stain or wrinkle or any such things, but it be holy without blemish. Love in marriage. Love in a marriage seems as natural as breathing for the wife. Love in marriage is like breathing for the wife. But for the husband, love in the marriage is a determined act of his will, which is very wrong. You know, a man can say, well, I love my wife, but he also loves somebody else outside, which is very wrong. It is actually very wrong. Instead, a marriage is a determined act whereby he must direct his energies for the specific purpose to provide for, to protect, and to be passionate towards his wife. That is the work of a husband, to protect and provide and be passionate to his wife. Fundamentally, the number one need of a wife in marriage is love. The husband is commanded to meet this need by loving his wife. He provides her a home, the resources to live, and a safe and secure place for her children, for her and the children. So, provision also, a man, you don't love your wife without providing. So, provision, men are actually supposed to provide. By loving her emotionally, he assures and comforts her, shielding her from the fear and warmth and harm. By loving her physically, he proves that his attention and focus are on her and she is secure in her desire. You know, women don't like competitions. He doesn't want to imagine that my husband will love somebody else outside. So he doesn't want competition. She wants to be alone, and that is finished. Women want to be loved by men, and actions, by speaking, every day. It's like doing well, the wife is commanded by Yahweh to respect her husband. Wives, submit yourself to your own husbands as our Savior, because husband is the head of the wife, and as also Messiah is the head of the congregation. And he is the Savior of the body. But even as the congregation is subject to Messiah, he also wives to their own husband in everything. By finishing, if sin was the first and foremost not believing and obeying Yahweh's instruction, the Torah, if she had heeded Yahweh's command in her role as wife, things could have come out differently. The husband is not going to share his heart, weaknesses, dreams, and goals until he knows they will not be turned against him. The number one complaint of wives is that they cannot be consequently done, and finally will not respect husbands. It is difficult for them to do so when the husband continues to do things not worth of respect from their point of view. Husband who does not provide, protect, and show passionate to his wife is on a thin ice for respectability. Fundamentally, the number one need for a man in marriage is respect. The wife is commanded to meet this need. The commandment to respect your husband means praising your husband both to him and others, and submitting to his leadership, guidance, judgment. Even if he makes mistake and is wrong, he will learn. That is how our men learn every day at their jobs. A wife who believes he needs to teach her husband by correcting him only succeeds in embarrassing him. The wife's role then is to obey the Torah and allow her husband to take lead, allowing him to love her through nurturing, guiding, and helping to grow in Messiah. In Genesis 2 verse 22, and Yahweh Elohim formed the rib which he had taken from the man into a wife and brought her to the man. Eve was taken from her husband's side. Therefore, a wife's rightful place is her husband's side. Your wife shall be like a fruitful vine by the side of your spouse, your house. Your son shall be like olive planted around your table. To be joined here means to share in the same heritage and heritage and inheritance. Husbands and wife are joined together. They become part of the same household with the same Heavenly Father. Marriage is reuniting the man and wife together as they were in the beginning. This is marriage based on spiritual understanding. Marriage is the mystery of Messiah's relation with us. There is a world of difference between lust and passion. Lust is sin and loss of self-control. Passion, it is a fire that forms that very metal of marriage. Let us try to be living examples through our marriage and get heavenly love and blessings. There ends the message. Thank you. May Yahweh bless you all.
Thank you, Elder Mutai, for that very timely message. And now we are blessed to have two special music. The first one is going to be by Marianne, Hannah, and Jesse.